Started here. Just a quick reminder to all of our commissioners. First of all, good morning. Good morning. How's everybody? Reminder, if you're speaking, to push the green button or the little person with the wah-wah in front of it when you're speaking, and then you can push. But let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. Let's do a roll call here, if we might. We'll start with Ms. Sherry Franklin. Thank you. Brittany Chandler. I don't see Brittany. All right, we'll give her. Okay. Mark Hayes.
Present.
Neely Glenn. Good morning. Dr. Brown.
Present.
Thank you. Rob Higgins. Thank you. Lisa LeClaire here. Derek Free.
Present.
Excellent. And Kuan Taylor.
Present.
Awesome. Thank you. We do have a quorum to conduct business. Let's see. I'm going to officially open the public comment period. The guidelines for public comment period are that persons wishing to address the commission must sign up on the sheet provided prior to the beginning of the meeting. And I don't see anyone. Okay, very good. No one has signed up to offer public comment. So at this time, I'm going to officially close the public comment period of the meeting. This meeting is being recorded and will be available for viewing on Metro's website. If you're watching this recording and you're interested in a comment or writing a story, please contact Bonna Johnson at Bonna, B-O-N-N-A, at visitmusiccity.com for additional information and for context. We sent out the minutes for the meeting and a revision yesterday. If they are in your packet, so if we have had a chance to review them, we could entertain a motion to approve them.
Changes, and it's really just a spelling on the final page with Mark's name and LeClaire.
You know, I think I did see that last night. Thank you. Yep, LeClaire is there at the very last sentence there, needs an I. And Mark Hayes is a mark with K in the 2 paragraphs above that. So yes, if we could change, that'd be great.
And other than that, I motion to approve the minutes with the changes.
Thank you very much.
My name is spelled wrong too.
Oh, Neely, let's take a look here.
Yeah. It's
Neely, which part of that is?
the first page. Oh, sorry.
The first page?
Is that it? Is this it? Are you doing that?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Is it
N-E-A.
NEA? Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. We'll get all those corrected. So we have a motion to approve with those corrections. Do we have a second? Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. Thank you. So the minutes are approved. Jeff Mefford, can you give us or provide us the financial report?
Certainly, thank you. In your packet, you have the financial summary for the activities that took place during the first quarter of this fiscal year through September 30th. We're pleased to report that the year continues to perform well financially. It's still early in the fiscal year, but things are tracking very much in line with expectations so far. At this point in time, we only have hotel tax collection data from the city through the month of August. As collections in July 2023 represented the highest monthly total ever for Nashville, the July 2024 collections were down somewhat from that level, but still represented the 3rd highest July monthly collections in our history. August of 2024 then rebounded with the highest August total ever for the month, the highest August total ever for the city for that particular month. And based on the hotel revenue projections that we're seeing, October of 2024 looks to set another all-time high monthly collection record. So tax collections are still strong. In looking at the financial summary that you have, you see that the total amount of the reimbursement to the CVC through our contract for this first quarter of our fiscal year $7,297,000, with total revenue for the period being $10,142,000. On the expense side, there have been no surprises thus far. Our activities are progressing as anticipated. The staff's had a very busy 3 months, as you'll hear from the other reports, but all of our activities are in line with expectations financially. Aside from the normal routine expenses of rent, personnel, travel, client visits, things like that, the primary program expenses during the period were for the production of our July 4th celebration, which came in under budget, and certain other large trade shows and special client events. As the year progresses, there'll be a number of other major initiatives to report on, and the funding for these is also included in the budget plan. So again, in summary, the year is performing well financially at this time. Our annual CPA audit field work has been completed on last year's activities, and we'll report back to the city once that report's available. Does anybody have any questions?
Those are some good-looking numbers, and it's nice to hear August, which I recall being in a hotel was often one of our slower months for the summer for sure. So that's exciting. Congratulations.
Best August ever for tax collections anyway. So.
Yeah, yep, awesome. Okay, terrific. Let's see, we've got the CVC staff reports. How about we start with Bruce? Is that correct?
And we normally do a motion to accept the financial report.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. After all of that, thank you for catching me on that. Do we have someone who would like to entertain a motion for approving the financials? Derek, thank you. Anyone second?
Second.
Sherry, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you. Now, let's go to Bruce.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Bruce McGregor with the Nashville CVC, head up the research department. And I'm going to walk you through a review of Nashville's hotel performance so far this fall. I'll review hotel occupancy pacing, how we're doing the months ahead. This first slide, a historical point of view, hotel performance growth in the top 25 U.S. downtown markets, comparing the year 2023 to 2019. CoStar highlights the recovery of U.S. downtown markets has been uneven, not all recovering as quickly. Nashville's downtown hotels have shined in 2023 with top growth rate and demand. Nashville was #1 in hotel demand growth over the big Florida markets, as well as Dallas, Phoenix, and Las Vegas. Nashville downtown saw 36% hotel demand growth compared to 2019. We are a model of downtown recovery, looking at not only tourism visitation and convention stats, but how our downtown is thriving overall, inviting residents to live here, return of office workers to a very safe and clean environment. CoStar stated, healthy leisure demand coupled with the relocation of some national headquarters and active Music City Convention Center all contributed to this growth in demand. The growth in rooms sold was overshadowed by higher supply. As we added more hotels, supply went up 45% versus 19 as developers try to capitalize on this demand surge in Music City. So far, for the year-to-date 2024, so the first 10 months of this year, Nashville's downtown demand has increased by 3.5%. This demonstrates that downtown has recovered post-COVID at a very fast rate and now continues this year, but a less dramatic incremental growth is ahead of us. So here are the numbers for the month of September. So this is the 293 hotels throughout Davidson County for the month of September. Looking at these results year over year, we somewhat underperformed. The 856,000 hotel rooms sold was down about 2.4% year over year. The average hotel rates were flat at about $215. As a result, room revenues came down about 2.6%. Reasons why this September was softer than last year and hotel occupancy was down about 5% is due to our creeping up of additional hotel supply, which gained about 3%. Also, the dates of September was different this year than last year. This year we had 4 Saturdays. In 2023, we benefited by having 5 Saturdays in September. On the positive side, if you look at the downtown hotels within a mile of music sittings, so the submarket of downtown experienced a 1.6% increase in rooms sold. So overall, the county underperformed, but still seeing growth in downtown for September.
Bruce, can I stop for 2
Sure.
seconds there? Could we go back to the previous slide? So we were showing 2023 results, correct?
This is this year.
This is this year, and
versus
the one prior, I'm sorry.
The first slide was looking at the full year of 2023 and looking at the recovery of 2019.
Okay,
And that dramatic 36% growth. And now, year to date, our growth is incremental, about 3.6%.
okay, very good. And this just came out, is that correct? This information, this data,
It came out earlier this year.
earlier this year? Okay, very good, thank you.
Sure.
So on this slide, is this the first month?
Which slide?
Next slide.
Next slide.
This is all the full month of September.
Yes, so is this the first month that we've seen this much red? Before-
July was
July.
a very soft month for us as well. So there's been highs and lows throughout the year.
Right. So July or September
So
worse?
July was down, then August is up, and September's down. October will be up.
Hop on the roller coaster.
Okay. So July worse than September or September worse than July?
I'd have to look specifically. I don't have it in front of me, but both underperformed.
July was worse.
But on the bright side, October was very good. It's our highest demand month annually. Solid results throughout the hotel community. These are preliminary results, but it indicate, excuse me, the county had 2.7% more rooms sold than last year. Rates were only up slightly, about 1% at 230. The supply was up a significant 4%. So we still have that creeping of supply, and it's pushing occupancy levels, excuse me, down. October's favorable results are largely attributed to major events and large citywide conventions. Peak days were Saturdays in the middle of the month, so the 12th and 19th, with 93 and 91% occupancy respectively throughout the county. So we'll go into more in depth about the top weekends throughout the year, but certainly we had 2 in October, the 12th and 19th.
Bruce, was the 12th a concert weekend? I know it's a holiday weekend because Monday.
It was the fall break. There was
Okay.
somewhat of an anomaly. We had the Colts in town, so we had hopefully Drive Market from Indianapolis. Also, that was the weekend after the hurricanes in Florida. So I'm trying to look at research to see, did we benefit? Did people who were thinking of traveling over fall break to Florida pivot and go to Nashville? Also, there was a displacement of everyone leaving Florida for the evacuations. The border states of Florida did their hotels demand increase significantly. We did see some increases if people made the journey up to Nashville with the hurricanes going on.
It was
unfortunately.
also TSU's homecoming that weekend as well.
That's a very good point.
And Canadian Thanksgiving, am I right?
Are you Canadian?
Almost. I grew up in Minnesota.
So as downtown hotels, their occupancy, 87%, that beat year-over-year numbers by 3.5%. Rooms sold in downtown were up a sizable 7.6%. So downtown hotels, the concentration of the demand is in downtown, and it's doing very well year-over-year. So now looking farther ahead, the next few months on the calendar, looking at hotel occupancy pacing that I'm monitoring. This is through a service called Travel Click. So it's about a collection of 70% of the hotels in downtown and midtown. And it's aggregating hotel reservation software to see how much is already booked and how it's pacing versus same time last year. Here's the analysis broken out by month. As of November 6th, looking ahead in total, November's pacing ahead about 7% where it was last year. December's pacing about even to last December. And for the first month of 2025, January, we're pacing up a healthy 14% in occupancy pace. Strong group on the books. It's pacing ahead 21.5% than last year. This is partly attributed to the Music City Center hosting 4 conventions in January. And then I wanted to go back and talk about November this month and how it's shaping up. Usually there's a drop in demand. You know, October is our peak month. But there's some interesting date shifts that are going on in November versus last year. The big spike in hotel occupancy on November 17th that week is up 65% in pacing. And that's largely due to the CMA Awards that last year occurred on November 8th. It's now moved farther in the calendar. It's now on the 20th. And the city is benefiting from that because if you look at the earlier months of November, it's still pacing relatively high. So even though we moved CMA out of the way, there's a lot of leisure and group business in the first part of November that I'm seeing year over year pacing on. And then Thanksgiving is moved farther out in the month. So it's on the 28th this year. Last year was on the 23rd. Transient demand is up 10% and group demand is up 3%. So this month looks to be shaping up to be very well.
Do you have a slide or do you have any data for the week of Thanksgiving, what the city's looking like from a transient perspective?
Let me see if I put it in here. It's down 33% for that week because Thanksgiving came earlier. So that we need a shift in dates. There could be some demand catalyst with the Jelly Roll concert that's going to be at Bridgestone Arena early in the Thanksgiving week. That might be a helpful boost to that low period of Thanksgiving holiday.
It's nice to see the transient business up because I think that's someplace we've been
Absolutely.
lacking, right? Okay, good.
So then I want to talk about, again, how we're doing this year, looking at our big weekends. And again, you know, the theme is there's ups and downs. Major events played an essential part to our success this year. So here's the rankings of the top 10 weekends so far. Beginning with the first week of May, where we had 3 nights of the Morgan Wallen concert at Nissan Stadium. The Predators had an elimination playoff game. There was grad weekends at 3 local universities that first part of May. Came in second the last weekend of June. That was the Zach Bryan concert. That was a big driver. You had the Ally 400 NASCAR Cup, which was out in Super Speedway, but we'll still see some demand coming into downtown from that big NASCAR event. There was a large citywide at Music City Center. Nurse Practitioners was in town, wrapping up their convention that week. And that weekend had 92.5% occupancy. Here's an interesting one, what we were talking about, that October 11th through 12th. That was the Colts game, as well as American Trucking Association was in town having their conference over that weekend. So again, there was some residual effect with the hurricanes the week before. Again, it's a really good mix of major concerts, sporting events, causing compression, causing increased demand throughout the hotels. And then you have the bonus of long conventions, a week-long convention overlapping into these weekends. A good example of that is the recent 18th through 19th. Occupancy countywide was up 87%. That was the Post Malone concert, which was on the 19th. You had the Predators playing the Red Wings. You had Vanderbilt football playing Ball State at home. And then we had a very large convention in town, the financial professionals, Music City Center, and they were here from the 19th to the 23rd. So again, that good mix of business really creating demand drivers to give us some boost this year to try to match the success we had last year. And then looking ahead, just to see some dates on the calendar for everyone, what's going to happen next year as we anticipate major events. The first weekend of May, which historically will be hosted Taylor Swift in 2023, as I alluded to, Morgan Wallen this year. Metallica is coming for 2 nights over that weekend, which I assume is also a big graduation weekend as well. Nissan Stadium on May 10th is going to host the Savannah Bananas. I don't know if everyone's familiar with what Savannah Bananas is. They're kind of an expedition baseball, Harlem Globetrotters meets baseball. It's a big party. They're having a 2025 big, what they call a world tour. So the Savannah Bananas are going to 18 Major League Baseball stadiums and 3 NFL stadiums, Titan Stadium, one of them. So they're looking to draw a big crowd to Nissan Stadium on May 10th. CMA Fest, the 4-day music concert that brings in about 90,000 attendees per day, is locked in for early June, the 5th through the 8th. And Nissan Stadium will host a major concert in July in 2025. Coldplay will be here performing on the 22nd. And then as these major events happen in 2025, we'll certainly alert the commission. A big one to take notice is the FIFA Club World Cup. They're going to have 3 matches at Geodis Park in early June. We don't know the scale of this event because it's determined which club teams, worldwide club teams, looking at Real Madrid, Manchester City, which of those teams in those 3 games will be playing here, and they're playing in other matches throughout the country.
That does get a big following. I'm feel certain about that. Awesome.
Any other questions?
This is just Tennessee versus Vanderbilt. That'll be interesting to see if we have a little bit of uptick and in some rooms on that weekend.
We saw a big jump when Texas was in town as well. I think I'm turning it back to Dina.
Yep, perfect. President's report.
Since the last time we met, hopefully you saw that we secured 2 international flights, nonstop flights, Iceland and Ireland, and both are selling extremely well. Iceland announced yesterday that, well, they had told us when they came for the Iceland U.S. women's soccer team match, they told us that they were selling about 30% ahead of projections and the best U.S. launch so far. And yesterday they announced that they're starting service 5 weeks early because it's selling so well. So that's a really good sign. They're starting April 10th now, and Ireland Air is starting, or Aer Lingus is starting April 12th. So both of those, we're doing quite a bit of marketing around those. One area that's really paying off for us, our tourism sales team has worked the Nordic region for years, about 10 years, and that's where a lot of the sales are coming from, to fly from Iceland to here. So it's really good seeing that to pay off. Yeah, they told us on our Zoom that everyone's coming this way, and of course we're happy with that, so they want more people to go that way. So Nashvillians booked those flights.
I know a lot of people who have been going to Iceland.
It's a popular destination.
It's fascinating, yeah. I was going to say it's a hot destination, but
It is hot. Yeah, very cold hot. Butch, that's a name from the past. Bruce just mentioned FIFA World Cup. That is, it's a new competition, tournament, whatever you want to call it, for the clubs, not the cup, which is 26. It's clubs, so it's not, the way that we've understood it is the original World Cup is players, the best players in each country, like the Olympics, it's the best players, and the club is the best teams. So it's in 2025. It's new. Like you said, we were getting at least 3 games at Geodis, so that should be a good draw. Hopefully we'll get good teams, but we don't know who those are yet, but we're looking forward to that. We also bid on and were able to win the AU Women's Basketball Championship Series, which is 3-on-3 players. It's WNBA players and the college stars. So we're very excited about that. It's a 5-week series at Municipal, and that's the end of February, 1st of March. We've been working on that quite a bit. The U.S. Special Olympics bid for 2030 we've been working on and made the short list. There's only 2 cities, and the next step is they're coming in for a site visit. So hopefully we will get that. That'll be a really, really strong piece of business if we can win that one. On the event side, we just held our Walk of Fame induction ceremony. It was a really nice ceremony. We inducted the Fairfield 4, Bill Cody, Colin Reed, and Jimmy Buffett. It was a great ceremony. The next one will be in the spring. And New Year's Eve is coming up, so we're working really hard on that. The headliners at the event, the live events, we've done some pre-tapings, but at the live event at Bicentennial will be Keith Urban, Kane Brown, Jelly Roll, Shabuzi, and Brittany Spencer. So that'll be a very good event. And then new projects that we are really excited about. We launched our Music City Chart Climbers Incubator Program for minority businesses. The application deadline was Friday. We had 80 applications for 15 spots. We're really pleased with that number. Amazon came in as the main sponsor. The program starts in January. We have monthly speakers and programs every month. And then it will end with our fall President's Chairman's Luncheon, where we'll recognize them, bring them on stage, and do that. We have a great advisory board that is working with us on that, and they will be the ones to actually select the 15 that'll go into the cohort, and we'll do that tomorrow. We're working on that. And we've kept the advisory board anonymous because we didn't want the businesses like lobbying them and calling them to try to get in. So we'll announce that after we announce the 15 that'll be in there. But we're very excited about that program. And then one other new program we have is called 615 Indie Live, and it is to help the independent music venues, and and also a slow month. So February, it's a one-day event, and you can buy one ticket to go to 13 different venues and hear great music all day, every day, and it's a fundraiser for the Music Venue Alliance.
So is that something this group is marketing, or is the... Yes, okay, good. I heard it on public radio this morning, so
Oh, good.
great, yeah.
That's all for me.
Any questions for Dina?
Thank you.
Let's see, Heather Middleton.
Good morning. We are in the midst of our fall advertising campaign and continuing to use OTAs to really reach people at the point of booking and drive bookings. We have started a strategic advertising program taking Bruce's research and looking at weekends that seem soft and really focusing on the drive market and other key markets. For example, Thanksgiving weekend. We were just talking about how it's always a difficult weekend. So we have targeted with a meta campaign the drive market, but also the Canadian market. It's not their Thanksgiving, so we feel like they can help us make up some of that lost business. Yep, that helps too. So it's an events-driven marketing campaign. So we have listed out all of the events and trying to grab people's attention with what they can come and do. So Canada, for example, is a focus on the weekend like that. So we'll be doing that throughout the winter to try to fill in those soft weekends.
So it goes into the first quarter?
Yes, correct. Additionally, we are, as Dina mentioned, in the midst of planning our marketing support for our new international flights and continuing to market to the British Airways audience as well. Our new website is targeted to launch at the end of March, so we are heavy into working on the design and the content for that. We have hosted 70 journalists to date this fiscal year, so the PR team has been really busy. And Dina mentioned 615 Indie Live program February 1st. In February, we also have our Dine Nashville program coming back again this year in support of our restaurants. That's a tough time for restaurants in addition to independent live music venues. The month is filled with chef collaboration dinners, a traditional restaurant week, and then some special offers for people to take advantage of.
Any questions for Heather? All right, thank you. I'm guessing Adrian is next, but let me check my notes. Okay.
Good morning. The convention sales team met all assigned quarterly goals for the first quarter and is well on our way for the second quarter. The announcement of the international flights, the new international flights, which Dina mentioned, are a huge boost for our tourism team, who, as Dina mentioned, have been laying that groundwork well in advance. So they'll definitely experience a boost as a result of those flights. The Music City Center actually had a record-breaking year for 2024 in terms of room nights committed, and 25 will actually exceed that number of definite room nights. The team continues to focus on need periods, which we've talked about before. That's defined as a month that's off track by 50% or greater for the city. So we have decided with community support to re-up a promotion that we have been doing, which is a $5 rebate that the hotel community has agreed to offer up in support of groups that are willing to meet over those need months. We had 32 hotels participate as part of that promotion. We anticipate that'll probably hit around 40. I mean, they've been very, very supportive, and that is if a client will execute a contract by the end of the promotion date, that they're willing to offer up that rebate, which is great news to have the community support on that front. We are working to secure several multi-year conventions deals with the Music City Center at the end of this quarter. As Bruce mentioned, some of our record-breaking weekends for the city had a significant groups meeting over them, specifically the Association for Financial Professionals, the nurse practitioners. We are in negotiations with all of those clients that had good experiences in Nashville to re-sign them not only for 1 year, but potentially 2 or 3 year deals in the city, and they are open to that. So again, appreciate the community's support to align those groups and find workable dates for them. We attended IMEX, which is our largest producing meetings exhibit in Vegas this year, October 7th through the 9th. We made over 500 client connections at that event, which resulted in 77 immediate and future leads, representing over 70,000 lead room nights. However, we also connected with 59 clients who have existing leads for the city, which represent over 160,000 lead room nights. So that really continues to be a record-producing event for us. And then we also went on the road.
Hey,
Oh, yeah,
quick
please.
question on IMEX. Is there a particular segment, either small group, 100, 300, 301 and above, that you saw the majority of the leads?
It's always high volume corporate at that event. We do see a little bit of association market from DC. They're starting to uptick a little bit, but it's primarily small market corporate. But we are making significant ground with the incentives market. So some large scale corporate that's willing to come into the city. An example of that was New York Life, who held their incentives program here. But making some really great headway on that, which I'll get into in a minute. But any other questions, please feel free to interrupt me as I go if anybody has any other questions. But DC Sales Blitz, we took a group of partners on the road with us. Actually, 15 member partners participated in a sales blitz in the DC market to appeal to the association clientele up in that area. We took Liz Rose and Phil Barton. Liz Rose has written many songs for Taylor Swift. So she pulled the clients up on stage for a sing-along, which was a huge success. They got into it, which was awesome. 15 members participated as part of that event. And then Dina and I just returned from Chicago, where we produced a Chicago Sales Blitz, where we took Ryan Hurd with us, who performed for the group, who's a hometown boy from Chicago originally, now records and writes in Nashville, and was a huge success. We have seen, I did want to mention, along the lines of the MICE conversations, meetings, incentives, conventions, exhibits market, we were recently ranked number 5 by Global DMC Partners, which is the largest global network of independent destination management companies, number 5 on list of most popular MICE destinations. So again, even further evidence that the higher end product that we've been able to bring online in Nashville, which is the Four Seasons, the One Hotel, the luxury hotels, are really heightening awareness for that market. And those clients can spend a lot of money and stay a lot of days in the city. So that is an emerging market for us. That's the end of my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I do have 2 questions. One, let's see, is related to MICE. So number 5, globally as a city destination?
Domestically. So number 1 was Chicago, number 2, DC, 3, New York, and 4, Vegas. So we're in really, really good company.
Okay.
Destinations that have traditionally been seen as leaders of MICE meetings.
Okay. And what a funny word, MICE.
I know.
The $5 rebate you were talking about, where does that go? So the hotels offer up $5. It goes to whom?
Yes, it goes back to the meeting planning organization. Yes.
Okay, so that helps them offset their
Their
costs.
incidentals.
Yep. Okay.
There are a lot of cities that buy a lot of business. Oh, sorry. There are a lot of cities that buy a lot of business. They have much larger incentives. So that's just one thing that we can do to try to book business.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Adrian? All right. Let's see, multicultural sales report.
Yes, Marie Sewing is out of town attending the National Coalition of Black Meeting Planners this week in Birmingham, so she could not be here. But I did want to mention that she and Kiana Taylor on our sales team have booked 2 significant conventions for next year. One is the National Bar Association. It's the first time for them to meet in Nashville. It'll be in 2026, it's confirmed. And then also the National Urban League is confirmed for 2026, and this is also their first time, and our team has been pursuing that booking for over 7 years. That's how long it can take. So congratulations to them on those significant bookings.
Any other questions from the CVC staff reports?
Yeah, I had a couple comments, not just comments and questions. I know that Nashville is growing tremendously, and as Nashville continue to grow, my push is that how can we create more diverse and multicultural tourism to continue to grow that number to make Nashville more inclusive, because as the 17 million people that come into Nashville, less than 10%, I think the number were of minority descent. And those minority tourism also helps minority businesses as well, because they frequent and they support. And I think that's where the $10 billion that come in the city don't really go back into minority businesses and black businesses, because we see less than 1% of that. And if we find a way to get more multicultural, more diverse tourism, we can see a hike in black businesses. And I see a lot of these reports, but I don't really see, the spike in the diversity of the city. October 12th, like I said, is Tennessee State University. A lot of people come in for that, and that's a big thing in the city. So we see that they're spiking the numbers. The first weekend, May 3rd and 4th, that was also Tennessee State's graduation as well, and they've seen a great spike. It's people that want to come. They just don't know what's taking place. They don't know. So I feel like we should figure out how to reach out to just more diversity in the city to see the great things that Nashville have on all sectors. See that there's great black businesses, there are great brown businesses, there are great minorities. There's more than just country music for those who just don't want to listen to country music. I would like to see that happen more in the city, so we can see those numbers go from 10 billion to 15 billion, and we can see that more into the minority business economy as well.
Hey, Rob, thank you for bringing that up. And did you have a comment you wanted to make there? I was just going to suggest that I think we brought this up last month, and we did talk about that. I love the fact that our Convention and Visitors Corp has Marie Sewing completely focused on that minority population, and I couldn't agree with you more that we need to support all of Nashville. I think that's hugely important. I know there are tools that the CVC supports, like the Urbanite visitor's guide, that really highlights our minority businesses. And I think you've done that for a few years. I remember it wasn't the Urbanite, it was called something else, because we had it at the hotel when I was here, and it was a guide.
Yeah, the African American
that's it.
visitor guide, which we helped co-produce for 10 years probably, or if not more, until she went out of business.
I see. I know that was a tool that our staff used quite a bit, so we were thankful to have that. Maybe one of the things we can do is to understand where the marketing is going. I know we talk about it at a high level here, but not necessarily where those marketing dollars exactly go. And I know it's hard to track as well. We had talked about that, I think, last meeting. about finding statistically information on who the visitors are and where they're going. I think it's a really hard thing to track.
It is hard to track, but you know we've talked a few times, and I know you've talked to Marie and Aaron on our team, and happy to sit down and really go through it and show you everything that we do to promote the diverse businesses here, the Black-owned businesses here. And we can always do more. We know that we can always do more. But that's one of our efforts has been over the years is really showing the diversity that's here. So I'd like to sit down and show you everything that we're doing. I think you'll be surprised, pleasantly surprised.
Couple quick points. One, what I really enjoyed about your presentation is when we said the rankings of Nashville with Chicago, we're getting more hotel bookings. That's what I saw with that. Two, with your comment, Marie can do so much, but one thing that I think we're missing that I heard in the report today, when you said February was down, that kind of prickled me a little bit because that is Black History Month. So as we do Pride in June, you can think strategically and not just put it all on Marie to do Black History Month. I quit one year because people tried to put it all on me because I was like, y'all gonna take the credit. When the bow comes, they'll be like, you did it. But then everybody's gonna be standing there grinning with me. So I think and part of my voice is deep because I'm Barry White's sister and my voice goes up and down. But I just don't want it to be lost because that's a huge, Black History, we're in Music City and Black History Month. Where's the good food? Where are those opportunities? Especially, let's focus on one thing as a collective and see if we can do that well. And the other pieces will come together because I agree. I'm here because I love it. I love Music City. I do. I've been here 30 years and I've watched this whole trajectory of tourism. So those are the only comments I had, if that's okay. Thank you.
I too love the Black community as represented. New Year's Eve, the lineup is impressive.
Oh, I'm sorry. CC Winans and Bobby.
On a few of our events. The New Year's Eve is a little bit more difficult because it's CBS and they produce the show and they determine like the talent that's on the show. So we push as hard as we can to have diversity. That's one reason we have Shabuzi and Brittany Spencer, and we'll have some other special guests, but that has been a
I'm sorry,
real...
I'm old. I didn't know who that was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just being honest.
Who, Shabuzi?
Yeah, I'm like, who?
Oh,
Shabuzi?
you need to,
What?
you need to,
I'm old.
yeah, you
Wait a
need to
minute.
discover Shabuzi. He's
Okay.
awesome. And so hot right now. He, I think he just got 6 Grammy nominations, and we had booked him before that, way before he really took off, which was good. It's good timing for us. But last year, they did not have enough diversity on the show, and we were not happy with it, so we produced the hip-hop segment before we went on the air, which really went over well, but that was, a big focus of ours.
Awesome. As always, good discussion. Thank you all. 2025 is right around the corner. How is that possible? We have not identified and set the dates in stone yet, so that will be forthcoming. And as soon as we have those dates, I don't know about the rest of you, but if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't happen. And so...
I think what we need to do is just establish, do we maintain, what are we, second Thursday, 8:30 every quarter for our meetings for 25.
I think that is a grand idea, and honestly, I didn't know if that was the the cadence or not. So if that's the cadence, if we can continue that, we'll look at those dates and make sure they work. I recall that last year we had to move one because it was the same as CMAs or something was the, yeah.
In 25.
Okay, well, we will double check that. Does this cadence seem to work for everybody? Okay, awesome. Then we will focus on that. Thank
So we
you.
probably just need to make a motion that we'll proceed with second Thursday, 8:30.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
So, sorry, then what would that first one be, just so I make sure I'm on the right track?
February 13th.
Okay. We'll double check all of those, but if we can entertain a motion that, as long as the calendar schedules work for both this space, of course, we want to make sure our reporters are available on that particular date, but if we can entertain a motion that double checking calendars that those dates work, I'll entertain that motion. Perfect. We got a motion and a second. Thank you. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, good.
I may be in Iceland.
I'm going to go to Ireland. All right. Any announcements or any accolades or anything anybody else would like to share with the group? All right. If there's no further business, could we get a motion to adjourn? All right. Second?
Second.
We got a lot of seconds on that one. All right. Good. Yes, happy holidays for sure, and we'll see you first quarter. Meeting adjourned.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.